this £1,000,000 show edition of the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by our Patreon. Score exclusive perks, content and contests, including our NFL Win Totals contest for the $1,000 prize. Join today at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. We're also brought to you by Parlay Play. Parlay Play is a lead pipe lock-in for parlay and player props. Go to parlayplay.io, use the promo code SGP for a 100% deposit bonus today. Welcome, everybody, to the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is, I've got absolutely no idea, Tuesday, August the 9th. Yes, Baz?
Yeah.
Oh, it's closer than I thought. I'd have set the spread at 3.5 days out there. And we are doing our £1,000,000 show, £1,000,000 show, where we're going to give all our futures picks. We're going to take £1,000,000 fun pounds, and we're going to launch it willy and nilly around all the future markets that we like and see how much profit we can make by the end of the season. Joining us fresh in his SGP lid, looks like the Sports Gambling Podcast has thrown up on Mr. Barry Penaluna. Hello, Baz. What you doing?
Evening, Malcolm. I'm doing good. This is quite refreshing. After we've just finished recording our 19th season preview episode, this is refreshing to do something a bit different and get back to the actual Premier League, first proper Premier League show. Although we did have a good pick show last week, Malcolm. Let's get that out early.
I'm going to get to that, Baz. I'm going to get to that.
I'm not going to let you wait any longer.
Okay.
So, yeah, just good to get back to the real stuff. We've got a good show ahead tonight. We've got picks show tomorrow night. I think that'll be 8:30 UK time. So, yeah, we've had a little bit of an uptick lately in followers on Twitter, YouTube, TikToks, all of that. So hopefully get a few more people involved. If you are watching or listening, like, rate, review, subscribe. There's a few people in the YouTube already. Slick Rick's here, Pat Foster's here, Serial's in. Make sure you hit the thumbs up right from the start. So yeah, Malcolm, what's first on your running order? Must be
first on the running order is I need to know more about Pat Foster, because Pat on Twitter always seems to be out gigging and stuff. He's always in a band. I reckon he's a bit of a old-fashioned rock god, is Pat. I reckon he does some radio stuff as well. I've been sort of silently stalking him. Seems like an interesting man. So, Pat, type some things in the box. Tell us what you get up to. And he does like our Premier League show as well, which makes him a favourite.
Yeah, to be fair, so our Slick Rick and Serial, we get lots of good feedback from those people, along with the Bacchus family. A few of our regulars on the social media that's what we like to see. People.
We've like you say though, we've had a really good reaction mainly to your picks in the AFL, Baz. So Spotify, Apple, Google, Premier League Gambling Podcast, Twitter at SGPN Premier, and YouTube as well. So come and join us live if you get in the comments, and we can have a little bit crack as well. We've been doing these preview shows. A lot of people have listened to their own team. A lot of people have listened to a few. I think Simmers has pounded the lot. Simmers deserves a statue building. He's consumed everything. We just like consuming things. But around that, Baz, we did a show at the weekend, the EFL show, and holy shit, you were good.
Yeah, so we done an EFL show last week. Got quite a bit of interest. It got really good numbers in terms of downloads, which is good. There's a lot of interest. Definitely the start of the season. People are itching for some proper domestic football action. So we put out 3 locks and 3 dogs, 1 for each division. My locks went 2 and 1. Only Stockport let me down there. My dogs, 3 from 3, plus 450, plus 450, plus 200. 90-1 treble if you'd backed all of those dogs.
90-1 treble. That's wild, Baz.
3 from 3. Absolutely unbelievable. So yeah, we had Wigan to beat Derby away from home. We had MK Dons to beat Wrexham, and the final one was Ipswich to beat Sunderland. So a cracking weekend, really, really good start. Couldn't have went any better. It's not always going to be like that. It's not always going to be as easy as that. But it was a good way to get the season off to an absolute flyer. And as I say, hopefully, I know there was a few people who got on bits and pieces of it. So yeah, good start. Let's hope we can carry on.
I mean, I threw out 6-5 single, Baz. You know, Charlton Athletic. I got the other 5 wrong. But I tell you what, that 6-5 walloped home. Never in doubt, that bad boy. The £1 Million Show is a bit of a tradition on the network because Sean and Ryan have always done it. How I got involved in this silliness was I was a listener for years, and they always do the £1 Million Show. I remember Ryan's wife once found the notes and did actually think that he'd had like $225,000 on the Houston Texans to go under 5.5 games or something. Proceeded to read him the riot act before he told her it was actually fun money. So they've done this show for ages. Now, we did it for the World Cup, Baz, and it was decent. I think I'll beat you. I know that much. And I did land in profit. I think I nearly doubled my money. I think I maybe won 1.8 million for my million, something like that. But it's a good way of giving out our future bets. It's also a good way of, as fun as it is, staking strategy. If you have got 100 quid that you want to throw around some stuff, if you've got 50 quid you want to throw around some stuff, this might be a way of just pointing you in the right direction of how you can split it up, where you can put your chunkier bets, where you can put your 40 and 50 quids, but also where you can put your £5 bets, where you can put your £3 parlays, ACCAs, stuff like that. So what do you want to do, Baz? I've got 8 picks, Baz. How many have you got? We haven't talked about this at all, so this could go any direction. How many picks you got, you reckon?
Well, I've got 8 picks from 7 different markets. I've doubled up on one market.
Yeah, okay.
I've had a couple of situations which have affected my picks, but we'll get to that when we come to them.
Is this Wolves? Do you want to talk about Wolves or not?
Yeah, so let's throw Wolves out. Lopetegui has left. I think it's officially by mutual consent, but Lopetegui's wanted out of there for the last couple of weeks, it seems. So it's literally just been reported in the last 10 minutes that Lopetegui has left Wolves. Gary O'Neill of Bournemouth last season is favoured to come in. Wolves seem in a bit of a mess, don't they? They've sold Neves 40-odd million to Saudi Arabia. It seems none of that money is going to go back into a transfer kitty because they're struggling financial fair play wise. They need to make a profit from this window. There isn't any money coming in from the owners because they have to get back within financial fair play. And I think Lopetegui's got a little bit fed up with that. Probably feels a little bit let down before the season's even started. I think that sets Wolves off on a really bad start, doesn't it? So, yeah, Lopetegui gone. And as I say, we'll come to why that affects one of my bets later. I can still have the bet, but I don't think I'll be getting the same odds on it. But it wasn't unexpected. It seems to have been in the pipeline the last couple of days, the Lopetegui issues. But
yeah, this has worked me over a bit on the Wolves preview show because I had Wolves quite high, not for 2 reasons. Mainly, I think there's a lot of shit teams. I was fading a lot of teams around them: Palace, Fulham, West Ham, Everton, Bournemouth. So I thought Wolves under Lopetegui would just be fine. I just think they'd be very functional. So really, a lot of my handicapping of Wolves was with Lopetegui in place. Not sure about Gary O'Neill. It doesn't affect. I mean, they were never going to be high up on my bet list one way or the other. They haven't made it into my card tonight, but it is a bit of a weird one. Pat's telling us that he's a Norwich supporter. That's a weird thing. The IT department's from Norwich, Pat. 6 fingers and all odd numbers of digits everywhere down there. The Tractor Boys, Ipswich did us a favour at the weekend by beating Sunderland, though. So we're all Ipswich fans this week. Okay, I'm going to get into this. I'll tell you about the Patreon first before we get stuck into our picks. Exclusive contests. The NFL Win Totals contest has got a $1,000 first place prize. And apart from the season-long contest, there's also weekly contests for the Patreons. The monthly SGP Stories contest. There's the Discord channel. So yeah, help fight the good fight against corporate gambling by signing up at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. Baz, do you want to go? I'll tell you what, we'll go heads or tails. I haven't got a coin, so I'm going to write it down here. Heads or tails, Baz?
Heads.
Heads is the right answer. That's what that says. Heads.
Right.
Do you want to go first or second? You are.
I'll go second.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll let you kick off. Have you gone highest bets first, or are you building up your biggest?
I've gone top to bottom.
Right.
So
we might be on the same first pick here.
You reckon?
Well,
we haven't discussed this, which sometimes is really good because we surprise each other, and then other times we either go completely opposite each other, which is no help to anyone, or it can be a bit boring if we pick the same stuff.
I feel I can predict you a bit, having now done 19 Premier League preview shows with you.
If you remember my system in the World Cup, Baz, I wanted one bet that was going to put me in profit, a safe bet that I think is going to put me in profit. So if everything else, I wanted like a floor. So if everything else goes tits up, I can still say, well, I finished half a point ahead, half a unit in front. What do you think I've got then for this?
Well,
because I've just given you a clue there. This is going to win me £50,000.
You've got Man City to win the league.
Yeah.
Erling Haaland to be top scorer.
You are absolutely correct, Barry. We have spent far too much time together over the last few weeks. I've got £500,000, Barry, on Man City to win the league and Erling Haaland to be top scorer, which is you can double those, parlay them together at 11 to 10, a price of plus 110. I don't see the only way this gets beat is if Haaland gets injured, which is the same with any sports bet. Whether you back the horses, one might fall down. Whether you're a baseball better, anything, injuries can happen. It's one of those things. You can't factor them in. But if City win the league, I think they will. If City win the league, Haaland will top score for them. And I can't see anyone getting near him. Teams just don't have 25 goal strikers. Harry Kane is an option. He's second in at 7-1, but if he's there, for one thing, but even if he is, I can't see him being asked to run around too much for them. They're going to be a shambles. So, yeah, £500,000, 11 to 10 to win £1,050,000. Barry, next.
It's quite funny because we've done all these preview shows and we've tried to be fairly nice about each team, haven't we, Malcolm? So, not wanting to upset any fans who have come to us to listen about their team. And straight away, you're straight in saying Spurs are going to be a shambles, which is back to our norm of just, hating everyone, which is good. Get back into the routine.
We were trying to get some new listeners because it's the start of a new season. So we thought we'll put these previews out and we'll say, I quite like Villa. Oh, well, I've never minded Bournemouth. When actually, it's all shite. We hate everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's worked. We've got
that's worked
in the chat now. Our YouTube is in its infancy. And we've only just started with YouTube fairly recently and trying to build up on it. We've had an uptick in subscribers. We've got 8 people in the chat now, which is good. Get your comments in. If you've got any thoughts or any picks that you like for season long, get them in. But also, don't forget to hit thumbs up. There's 8 of you. I expect 8 thumbs up as an absolute minimum. Right. My first bet, Malcolm, is Man City to win the league and Haaland to be top scorer.
Boo!
I've gotten lower stakes. I've got 300,000. I did similar to you in the World Cup. I started with a break-even bet. I had £500,000 on Argentina to get to the semi-finals.
Yeah.
But this time I've spread it out a bit more. So yeah, my first pick was the same. And as I say, it doesn't need much explanation really. If Haaland stays fit all season, I can't see how he isn't going to be top scorer. And I just don't see City losing the league this year. So I have got a better price than you, Malcolm. 5 to 4. You can get plus 125. If you shop around on Man City and Haaland double.
Well, why? Well, give me 5 to 4 then.
No, you've.
Do I have to take me 11 to 10? What an absolute rack of will! Surely I could just see I've got a bigger price than all the prices I've got written down.
You can take your 5 to 4. 300,000 for me at 5 to 4 is the pick.
How much do I win with that one at 5 to 4? Then Baz, work that out.
How much did you put on? £500,000.
£500,000, mate. Yeah.
That'd be 625, won't it?
Right, okay. Oh, that's good then. So that's 1 million. Right, I'm writing. This is all going down in the pad of doom here. Right, we're doing this draft style. Baz, you going back to back, or are we taking turns?
I can go back to back. Yeah, my next pick is Sheffield United to finish bottom of the league. It's at 11 to 4 plus 275. I'm having £150,000 on Sheffield United to finish bottom. They're a team in turmoil. Their fans, we struggled to get a Sheffield United fan to come on the show.
He did really struggle.
United preview. It's like nobody wants to talk about the club, and I managed to get a bit of feedback from a couple of Sheffield United fans responded to me on Twitter. One said, "At best, they will get 10 points." That's his only
I saw that was Gary, wasn't it? A bloke called Gary.
His only hope is that they get more than 10 points. So his expectations weren't high. So I think they just said it's a shambles. They've lost Ndai, which is a big miss, but also they're now selling Sander Berge, which is another one of the better players, for not much money, 5 days before the season starts, and they haven't really brought much in. I think they've spent about 7 million. So yeah, Sheffield United to finish bottom, £150,000 at 11-4 plus 275 is my next pick. They might surprise people, but the mood around that place, I think it could turn ugly quite quickly.
Yeah, I think their best bet is someone possibly Luton Town being as bad. And that's about it, really. It is a bold strategy, selling all your good players a week before the season. That is unusual. Like, we'll see if that pays off for them. So my second pick, Baz, does factor in Sheffield United. And you know what this pick is as well. But my staking strategy, Baz, is off the charts. I'm checking now whether I actually spent about 3 million, because I've got 300 grand. I've got 200 grand, Baz, on it's another double, and it's Man City to finish top and Sheffield United to finish bottom. Sheffield United will finish bottom for all the reasons you've just given. And like I say, I can't see any other outcome than City winning the league. So if you want Sheffield United, Baz, why aren't you sticking City in there with them? Who's turning City over?
Nobody, but I've already got some eggs in the City basket. You're throwing £800,000 on City to win the league, aren't you?
Yes, I am. There you go.
Happy with my selection, Malcolm. You do
right.
I'll do me.
200 grand at 9-2, Baz. Unless you tell us I can get 5-1 somewhere. 1.1 million, that will return me. Okay, so I've got 300 grand left, Baz. My angle now was to find my biggest likes and my biggest fades amongst the teams. It really helped doing those team previews. If you are planning on getting some bets on before the season, it certainly helped me just think about what markets teams best fit into. If you do fancy a team, how you can best make money on that prediction. And again, if you're fading a team, how you can best make money on where you think they're going to finish. One of my biggest likes for the season is Aston Villa. We've just finished doing their show 10 minutes ago. And I just can't see anything other than progress. I think it's his second season under Emery. He had half a season. This is his second year. I said in the Villa show, it looks like a really good comparison to Newcastle in that Howe had half a season and then spent wisely and kicked on. Emery had half a season, did well. They've spent wisely. He's going to kick on. I have got them to finish in the top 6, Baz. It's 9-4 plus 225. I'm having 75k on that, Baz, which will return me £243,750, please.
Sounds like you're not very confident. 75k. Malcolm,
I've just spunked 800 grand on Man City in the first 2 bets.
Well, Malcolm, we've definitely spent far too much time around each other, because I've also gone for Villa top 6.
Oh, fucking hell. We should have talked this through, but
I know. Well, it is what it is, isn't it? It's the bets we fancy. We've got the same conclusion for our own reasons. They finished 7th last year, and I think they'll be better again this year. I've got them above Brighton and Chelsea in my league table. So top 6 for me looks doable. And don't rule them out of a top 4 push either. But I've gone for 250k on Villa for a top 6. Funnily enough, speaking of Villa, I was just looking at our Twitter account, and a Villa fan's just commented. Wayne's come on and said, "Seriously, lads, release the rest of the podcast. How long do I have to wait for the Villa one?"
Oh, no.
Lads been waiting for Villa, and I think they're literally 19th on the list. Could be worse, though. You could be a West Ham fan. We haven't even recorded that one yet. That's the only one we haven't.
Tell him I'll put Villa out before Arsenal tonight, then he can have Villa in an hour.
We'll push Villa forward. Hopefully he's listening now, but guess we'll get Villa out first just to satisfy Wayne, because he's getting sick of waiting. But I think he'll be happy when he listens to that one, because as you can see, quite high on them. So yeah, pick for me, 11-4, plus 275, 250,000 on Villa to finish in the top 6.
Speaking of Wolves earlier on, Baz, we got a nice review off a man who was a Wolves fan, who also suggested remedies for my athlete's foot, which we talked about 3 weeks ago. 5-star review, and suggested how to fix my athlete's foot. So that was a nice touch, wasn't it?
What was it? Cream instead of powder, or powder
cream instead of powder or something? Yeah. That's not gone so bad now. It's that dry skin next to me bollocks that's the issue. Still lashing the talcum powder on that, Baz. It's good to share.
If you've got any remedies for dry skin next to the bollocks, just let us know. I'll jump in next then, Malcolm.
I forgot to go back to back there, so the system's gone to shit, so it doesn't matter. Let's just keep going.
It is what it is. Well, we've just been speaking of Wolves, so I'm going to jump into Wolves here.
Oh, right, okay, nice.
And I'm going to go Wolves to be the lowest scoring team at a price of 8-1. They were the lowest scoring team last year. They only scored 31 last season. 31 goals in 38 games is grim, innit? Because even in a poor team, you should have the odd 2 or 3 goal haul and stuff like that. 31 last season, and they've got worse. They're a worse team, and the mood around the place has gone downhill, and they've now probably got a worse manager. In my mind, I think Lopetegui was good for them. Obviously, Sheffield United and Luton are shorter in the market for obvious reasons. Both expected to have difficult seasons, but I think 8-1's worth a punt for a team who only scored 31 last season and who look worse this season. I've been quite low on Wolves, and 8-1, £100,000 on lowest scoring team to be Wolves.
Well, bad. You know, we like to do our production meetings while we're in the middle of the show. You might learn it. So we were thinking about doing some new features. The tit list is definitely going to make an appearance. We're going to fill the tit list up. However, Baz, on the back end last weekend when you were so good on the AFL, the funny bit of that clip was the arse sniffing analogy that I somehow dragged out. And I was considering the arse sniffing bet of the week. And that Wolves one is an absolute beauty. That is another one where you've just gone and sniffed around some arses and you've located the drugs, Baz. You've located the man with the little packet up his bottom. And it's Wolves. It's Julian Lopetegui, 8-1. That's an outstanding.
I was at Wembley the other day, and that quote from you about the drug sniffing dog sprung to mind as I walked into Wembley. And there was a man there with his dog, and I was tempted to ask him if I could get a photo with his dog just for the Twitter account, but I didn't. I did take a photo of the dog.
That would have been good. We did that on his. We could have got that put on his shirt. That could have been the prize for the Listener League, the FPL Listener League. We'll give out the code for the Listener League in a bit. Villa to finish up with Chelsea. Is what Nick Morris likes. How you, Nick? How you doing? Nick's our resident Man United fan. We like Man United. Good team.
Can I just say this is an absolute record? We're into double figures for live viewers at the moment. We don't normally get so good numbers because we're normally clashing with a few of our American rival shows.
Well, we are.
Good to see so many people. People are itching for this domestic football, Malcolm, aren't they?
They are, mate.
Absolutely itching for it. But yeah, keep coming back for the live shows.
We are directly clashing with my other show. I'm not doing myself much of a favour here because the MLB show is live as we speak with all the dull ones are in charge tonight because I'm over here being silly with you. Baz, I've got to pick for the fewest goals. Now, shall I give that out now? It's a bit further down my list, but shall I give it out now because you've gone... We'll stay in the same market.
Yeah.
I've just said I'm picking teams I like and teams I don't. One of the teams I don't like are Everton. Circle in the drain, we've said. That's Everton's MO recently. And they're going to disappear down there sooner or later. Couldn't score last year. Not very progressive attacking. They've got no strikers. They've got DCL still. Injured. Absolute sick note. No money. They are 9-1 to score the fewest goals. And I've got 50 grand on that, Baz, to win $500,000. I'll go back to the teams I like. Now, we've done quite well not to mention. Have we mentioned Newcastle even once yet, Baz?
No.
That is a definite record. 25 minutes and 40 seconds. Normally it's 80% Newcastle content, even though we try not to be. So I like Newcastle. I've got them to finish second, which is a little bit ambitious, but you know. However, I've already established, I think City will win the league. And I'm really high on Arsenal. We've just done our Arsenal show. I can't see Arsenal blowing up. There's no reason I think they'll finish outside the top 3. I think they're rock solid compared to the competitors, Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham, whoever else it is. So the top 3 in any order, Baz: Manchester City, Arsenal, Newcastle, little trifecta, any order you like. 10-1, Barry. I'm having 50 grand on to win £550,000.
Fishing in the same pond here, Malcolm.
Oh, are we?
A little different way. I don't think you'll like this. Slick Rick's asking, why am I still the only one to tap the thumbs up? He's right.
Yeah, he's right, Rick. Go around and smash all the windows or something.
I think when I looked before, there was 4 thumbs up. So
okay.
At the time, there was 11 people in here. So shame on you. If you
Since you said that, you forced 4 of them out.
I did, Anyway.
You did.
Top 3 in any order, Malcolm. I've got Arsenal dropping out of the top 3.
Oh, you're a wazzick.
And I've replaced them with Liverpool.
No.
I just have a sneaky feeling there might be some regression from Arsenal this season. I could be completely wrong. I said when we've done the Arsenal show, they could, it could be anywhere 2nd, 3rd, 4th for me. But City are the obvious one for the top 3. You can't see anything but that. And I just think it's really tight between the rest of the pack. So I'd looked at, looking Newcastle, Man United, Arsenal's the first one in the market, isn't it? Short price. But I've gone with Liverpool and Newcastle. I thought it offers decent value. It's 12-1. And as you said, there's only been positives for Newcastle. The squad's stronger. The additions look good. The mood's still high around the club and around the city. There's no reason Newcastle can't get better. I will really require Man United and Arsenal to get worse, or Liverpool to have a big uptick. But the pick for me in that market, and it's funny you went for that, because as you say, we didn't choose which markets we'd go for, but we went the same way. Top 3 in any order: Man City, Newcastle, Liverpool. 12-1, 50,000 finest English pounds on that one for me.
50 grand. I'm writing all yours down here, so you can't be accused of shenanigans.
I've got them all written down. I have a spreadsheet, Malcolm. Don't have to write anything.
All right, Bill Gates. City, Liverpool, Newcastle, champion. Okie doke. I'm going to tell you about parlay play. All these words beginning with P in here. Parlay play is a great way to get down on your favourite parlayed player props. Football season is right around the corner. You've got to change that from football season, because they don't mean football, do they? NFL season is right around the corner. Parlay play, you've got all your favourite props. Sign up with our code. You'll get a sweet bonus when you get started. They're available in California, Texas, other places. If you are up north, you'll get them in a lot of Canadian provinces too. Parlay play that we like is Manchester City, Arsenal, Newcastle to finish the top 3 in any order at 10-1. Bosh. Head over to parlayplay.io. Use the promo code SGP for a 100% deposit bonus up to $100. That's parlayplay.io, promo code SGP. I am also going to tell you about the Listener League for FPL. We need a few more people in there. I'm sure there's quite a lot of our regulars. We've got a load of bodies in there, but there's quite a few of our regulars not in there. If you haven't played before, we did release a how-to guide a couple of months ago. There's a show with Ewan Leith from Roto Baller, who's a bit of a fantasy expert as well. The game plays on PremierLeague.com, and we have a specific listener code to get involved. The league code is CVVQAB. That's CVVQAB. I'm trying to find a phonetic one that I've already done. Colaccini, Viana, Quinn, Almiron, Bentaleb. CVVQAB. Money up for grabs. We've got some merch. We've got the Egg in a Cup. So go and play. And if you need a little pointer, just get the Discord channel, listen to the show every week, and we'll keep you posted about everything on there. Nick Morris failed to listen to the Man United show, Baz.
He couldn't bring himself because he thinks we're just going to slag them off for half an hour.
I've got a mate, one of my mates, Spider-Man Pyjamas, obviously, plays baseball for the Newcastle Nighthawks. He's a Man United fan. And he said it was surprisingly fair. You could put that on a post. Surprisingly fair, 2 stars. That was from Kyle Willis. I I've got a Man United pick coming up, Nick, and it's a positive one. Yeah? So, hold on to your hats. The handicap market for me, Baz, it's a really good fun market. Everyone gets a points head start, depending on how the bookies think they're going to go. So Manchester City start on scratch. Arsenal have a 9-point head start, and so on and so forth, all the way down to Sheffield United, who get 55 points. One of the good things about this market is that everything's priced up sort of 14 or 16 to 1. The idea being it's a blanket finish. So you're picking a team that you're high on to win the handicap market. I'm going back to Aston Villa again, Baz. It's a little bit boring. They're getting a 31-point head start, Aston Villa. That's a lot of points. They finished last year on 61 points. So you add 31 onto that, gets you to 92. That wins the league last year, 92. But I've got them going a little bit better. So they finished 7th. I get them up to 5th place, maybe up to 67 points. You add the 31 onto that, and you've pissed it, Baz. 98 points wins that. 50 grand at 14 to 1. Aston Villa with 31 points on the handicap to win 750k, Baz. I
mean, you say you've pissed it, but it depends on other teams not overachieving, isn't it? If Sheffield United come in and hit 40 points, they'd probably finish above that.
When they get to 95, I've worked it out, Baz. I've worked it out.
Fun, but you've got to work out 20 teams' seasons.
Well, I have, haven't I?
Teams' points. And
I've done that.
So when you've wrote down here,
that's a headache.
As your pick, I'm not convinced. You'll just come out of it. You could tell me anything. You could tell me that was a winner at the end of the season. How am I going to know what the other 19 teams' handicap was?
Because my Sky Bet balance will be a wash. I've put all my free fivers on that for the last 4 or 5 weeks, Baz. So I've got about a pony on that now.
I'm going to have a proper look at that handicap. I haven't.
Yeah, you go on. You work that out, mate. Get back.
Called it out on every preview show, but I haven't had a proper look at it yet. But I will have a look and tell you where I think that handicap market is going. I thought you were going to put Man United out when you told Nick there was a Man United pick and it was a positive one. And I'm thinking, he's not taking Man United here, surely. But you weren't.
No, not yet. They're coming though.
My next pick is a bit of a problem because it's a sack race. First manager to go.
Oh, I've never looked at this. I like it.
Now, I knew Lopetegui was going, so I wrote down in my notes here that I wouldn't be backing it yet. And I know the odds would change. So the problem is I don't know what odds this will be until probably tomorrow or something. So we'll have to change. But basically, I think David Moyes to be the first manager gone is a pick I really like. He was 12 to 1 today, but that's a bit skewed because the expectation was that Lopetegui would go. So Lopetegui was a big favourite. But I think he was 4th favourite. There was still Heckenbottom ahead of him. Somebody else, can't think who it was now. So anyway, I'm going to take Moyes first to gone. I think he had a stay of execution last year. He would have been gone. If not for that European run, David Moyes wouldn't have seen out the season at West Ham. It's not been pretty for a while there. And I just think he's on borrowed time. As I say, it was 12 to 1, but I know that's not the price he's going to be come tomorrow morning when they price the market up again. So I'll hang on for a few days, see how that develops. But now that Lopetegui's gone, then I'm getting on Moyes to be the next to go.
Yeah.
I think he'll be getting still potentially 5 or 6 to 1 for him.
Yeah, 4s, 5s, I would say.
I think that's fine for me. So I'll put the price down when it comes up tomorrow, but 50,000 on Moyes to be the first manager to go for me. They've still not signed a single player, West Ham. And they've lost Declan Rice. They've sold Skamaka. They've sold Vlasic. So the players going out. There's money coming in, but they haven't spent a penny. And they are, closer to getting the midfielder from Argentinian lad from Ajax.
Alvarez, I think.
Alvarez, that's the one. And they're in the market for Maguire and McTominay. And Man United keep turning them down, bizarrely.
Michael Antonio's debating a trip off to Saudi Arabia as well, which leaves them in the shit. I made my West Ham notes earlier on. And they're on a right mess. Why haven't they spent some of that money? I mean, talk about when they lift that European Conference League trophy, probably one of the greatest nights in their history. And it wouldn't take an awful lot to harness the momentum of that into a positive off-season, 2 or 3 players. When you've picked that money up off Declan Rice, like
they finished on such a high, as you say. I'd heard a story the other day about how they were in the market for 7 different positions. Apparently, there's some sort of like eBay for football clubs where or like a Gumtree or something like that, where football clubs will say, this is what we want, and other clubs will forward say, we've got him. And apparently someone with access to this database had leaked the fact that West Ham were currently begging for 7 different positions.
Is that really how it works? Have you not been playing Football Manager?
No, this was like in the Daily Mail or something, Malcolm. So it must be true.
Right, okay. Must be what made.
So they're absolutely they're gonna want to add players, but they're leaving it very late. And as I say, their fans, I think, are a bit fed up of Moyes anyway. Obviously,
he's boring.
State of execution because he got that cup. But I think they'll equally forget about that quite quickly should West Ham get off to a bad start. So yeah, Moyes' first manager gone.
Yeah, that is a great pick. That would be up there for the Arse Sniffer Award if Wolves didn't already have it. Right, Nick, are you ready? Get your pen, get your wallet out, close the doors, check the windows are shut. You don't want anyone prying on this pick. I've only got 100 grand left, Baz. I am betting £75,000 on Bruno Fernandes to have the most assists this season. Opportunity is there. He's going to play every week. They've just made him captain. He's an excellent player. There's no 2 ways about it. Obviously, he's got an awful face. You'd never tire of hitting him with a cricket bat. But all that being said, he's outstanding. Man United will always score goals. All those ones that Rashford hits and they hit the defender on the bottom of the leg and loop up over the goalkeeper. It's going to be Fernandes who's playing him in. Set pieces, he's on penalties. 9-1's a great price. So 50,000 on Bruno Fernandes. Most assists at 9-1 will pay me £500,000, Baz.
There's definitely some telepathy going on here because I'm in the same market again, not the same pick.
Oh, right.
But I'm dipping into the same market, and I've got 2 picks from this market. I'm spreading it about. I'm starting off with Salah.
Serial. As we go, look at this. I tell you what.
Serial has jumped straight in and said Salah's shown assists in pre-season. Salah got 12 assists last season. He was second only to Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne had 16. 12-1 for Salah to get the most assists. I mean, Liverpool got more attacking firepower now. They had a poor season last year. They're expecting to go better. So there's plenty there to suggest he can be in the mix for most assists. Serial saying he's got 7 in pre-season. 12 last year was a big number. I think he can get more. And also, I think Kevin De Bruyne might drop back a little bit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 12-1, £50,000, more Salah, most assists.
Like that.
And then in the same market...
Can I have a guess at this one?
You can, yes. You'll not get it.
Is it... Right, so it's not NC then?
It's not NC, no. We put that out on the...
On the Everton one, yeah.
In the Everton one. I'm going for James Maddison at Spurs. Now, he's at 20-1. He got 9 assists last season in a poor Leicester season, a poor Leicester side. Now, this is one where, again, there's developments which would definitely affect this because I've wrote here, the closer it gets to the season, the more likely that Kane stays. And that seems to be the case. They reckon if he starts this weekend, then he's just going to stay. He's not going to move beyond that. But then I'm driving home today, and on the radio, they're suggesting Bayern Munich have come back in with another offer.
Yes, now, that's correct. Another final offer.
Where yesterday it was the final offer, nothing more. Today they've come back with another 95 million. If Kane goes, then obviously the opportunity for Maddison is lessened in terms of assists. If Kane stays, he will get another 20-odd goals, and Maddison could be there providing a lot of those. So, I'm putting it in anyway. We'll see what happens with Kane. We'll have a little chat about that at the end of the show. I'm interested to see what you think is going to happen. We've covered it at various points. But, yeah, so the pick for me is £50,000 on Maddison to be the most assists at 20-1.
Okay. My final pick then, Barry. It hasn't been too Newcastle heavy, has it? I've got a Newcastle play here. This is a beauty, Baz. I mentioned this. I've been to Bob's Football tonight. They had a game, won 3-0. And I mentioned this to a few of the other dads stood watching, and they all just shook their heads and called us an idiot, which I'm fine with because they've got no idea, frankly. So, yeah, I've got room for one Newcastle bet. It is the top scorer for Newcastle. Newcastle's top scorer, Baz. Alexander Isak is short, 8-13. A worthy favourite, I think, who's going to get most of the minutes up top. Callum Wilson is the other one in the market. He's about 6-4. Isaac is most likely, of course he is. He's 8-13. Wilson's injury prone. But with the Champions League, I think the door just could be open for someone to swoop in and sort of just hang around. I mean, Almiron got 12 or 13, something like that this year. Newcastle can score a lot of goals. They put up 4, 5, 6, more than one occasion last year. My pick is going to be... Eddie Howe got asked this week how he felt about going into the season with 2 strikers. And Eddie Howe said, what you talking about? I've got 3 strikers. He's got Isak, he's got Wilson, he's got Anthony Gordon as the 3rd striker. Anthony Gordon has been like shit off a shovel in pre-season. He's looked really, really good. 28-1, Barry. Sometimes you're just making a pick that's just too big a price. Like you've got like Harvey Barnes is kicking around 12s, and he's facing like Gordon's a bigger price than like Bruno Guimaraes and people like that. Longstaff, 25 grand at 28-1 will net me £725,000, Barry.
I put that one out on the Newcastle show, Malcolm.
Did you?
Yes, you've just stolen that one from me.
It was tears that turned me onto that this morning.
As you say, that if Almiron can get 11 goals last season,
yep,
then there's no reason why Gordon or possibly Barnes is 10-1. But again,
if he starts through the middle, if he gets maybe 10 starts through the middle or whatever, you know, if Wilson stood his hamstring and Isaac plays in the Champions League, we'll give Gordon a start to home to Bournemouth on a Sunday. That
was exactly my reason. It could easily be Gordon playing through the middle if we get injuries and stuff like that. So there'll be opportunity there. So yeah, I don't mind that at all. Was that your final pick?
That's me done. That's me million done, yeah.
That's me done as well.
Are you done?
That? Yeah, we've both spent £1 million there.
Both just squandered. We've invested, Baz, is what we've done. We've invested £1 million. Good, that's nice timing, that 45 minutes. Beautiful. We've got the pick show tomorrow. I haven't looked at them yet. I've had to stop myself making the picks yet, like just too excited, like a little kid. I've had to like find myself things to do. Like I went sat in the conservatory earlier on, listened to a Bigfoot podcast, things like that, just to stop myself making the picks, like opening your presents too early. But yeah, we can get stuck into that tomorrow. So how are you feeling about that, Baz? Are you confident?
I started writing my initial thoughts down, like
initial thoughts, shit.
Where I think I'm going to go, but without pricing anything up. So obviously looking at the markets and stuff tomorrow might change a few, but I literally just jotted down a few ideas of what I fancied for each game, and then we'll see where the market's going, what leads me. But because you can fancy something, but if the prices are far too far the wrong way, I don't mind opposing it. We've got to look for the value. It's what we've done at the weekend in the AFL show. Found a bit of value and capitalised on that. But yeah, looking forward to getting that one out tomorrow. Hopefully we'll get a few people involved, get off to a good start, some winners. It's just nice to have the Premier League back, Malcolm.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
So yeah, I'm just jumping back to Kane. Do you think he's going to go, stay or go? What's your thoughts?
I think he's going to go. I've always thought he was going to go. I don't see the point of him staying. And honestly, I'm bored of it, but I'm really bored of Harry Kane. I don't know if I said this a few shows ago, but he used to be quite good. He still is, but it's meaningless. Like Harry Kane scoring those goals in the minute is meaningless. That club is going nowhere. I don't think it ever can. And I'm just bored of it. So, well done, Harry. You scored again. They got beat 4-2. Like, when he scored up here when we humped them 6-1. What are you trying to achieve? I think the bloke's a bit of a drip, I'll be honest. If he hangs around there, I'll be like, he's just got no ambition. Like, he's got no charisma. He does nothing for me at all.
I mean, I'm not that offended by Kane personally, but I've always felt he would go. Mainly from the club side, I just think it's absolute madness if they turn down £95 million.
I think he's not the only striker in the world, is he? Show a little bit of initiative and a little bit of, I can't think of the word, like inventiveness, and go and find a way to spend that money on some footballers that are going to make your team better. Go and find some strikers. Go and do what other teams have done.
The thing is, Spurs haven't been good at spending money lately. It's
No.
a big sort of bugbear of their fans. And if they get the next season and they lose him for no income whatsoever, they're not going to spend 80, 90 million on a striker, I don't think. I can't see Levy putting his hand in his pocket to that extent. If they sell him now, they can do that. I mean, I spoke to a Spurs fan friend of mine who said it just needs to happen. Just get on with it. Like, there's no point in us selling them right at the last minute and then not being able to do anything about it. I think they've already possibly left it a bit too late. I mean,
because what does keeping them achieve this year? By the way, if they're in a rebuild anyway, what do they finish 7th instead of 8th, 8th instead of 9th, 6th instead of 8th, maybe? What are they going to achieve that you can't achieve you can't replicate in a 2-year rebuild? Having sold him,
I said similar. If he stays, what are you getting for your 95 million that you've lost? What are you getting? You're going to get another 20-goal season from Kane.
Yeah,
and probably not win anything. And I'm just not sure it's worth the 95 million. That's essentially that. If they turn it down, they're paying 95 million for one season of Harry Kane. And what does that get you? Not so sure. I mean, the other transfer I was quickly going to mention, because Serial brought it up earlier on, is David Raya to Arsenal. What do you think about that one?
I don't understand that.
Makes no sense, does it?
From his first choice keeper is a bit of a baffling way to go. Unfortunately, you have to have a good one and a kind of 80% one. And you've got to get the right character who's capable. Like, even two keepers competing for that job doesn't seem ideal.
I mean, Chelsea had it, didn't they, with Mendy and Asper?
Yeah, how did that work? Shite.
And obviously Mendy's now moved on. Yeah, it's just very bizarre. I'm not sure how Ramsdale feels about that. But also, Raya wanted to move away from Brentford. You wonder, has he been given assurances that he's going to get loads of game time at Arsenal? Because otherwise, it's a bad move for him if he's not going to play. And obviously, it's a massive vote of no confidence in Ramsdale if it's the other way around. It's just a bit of a strange one. I'm not sure what the mood will be between the two. And it just seemed unnecessary. It's a big fee, 40 million for someone that is potentially going to be sat on the bench to start the season.
Yeah, I agree with you, Baz. I mean, there's still going to be a lot of movement between now and Friday. As Baz said, we're doing the pick show tomorrow for a couple of reasons. There's Friday night football, so that gives us extra time to get the show out for Friday night. And I've got work. Sod's law, Baz. I haven't had a casino for ages. And then I've got casinos tomorrow and Friday, so I can't even watch the Friday night game. Having sat on my arse for about 7 consecutive Fridays. The one night the football's on, I'll be out grafting in Yarm, of all places. Remember Yarm? Do you ever go to Tall Trees in Yarm, Baz?
Yeah.
Bit of an all-night rave. So yeah, lovely castle tomorrow in Yarm. On Friday is where I'll be. Right, I think that'll do, Baz. £1 million spent. Picks tomorrow.
No lifestyle today.
Well, at the top of my page, I've got rhubarb and courgettes written down, but that was just in case of emergencies, Baz.
You've done that, haven't you?
The rhubarb's still going, and there's now a rhubarb cheesecake that's on the go, Baz, which is quite good.
I got a little bit of drama from home at the weekend, which I'll quickly tell you about.
Yes,
for any new listeners, we always have a little bit of lifestyle chat, just a light-hearted look into our lifestyles. And the goings on around here. So I was in London, as you know. I went down to Wembley. I left the good lady at home to do some decorating. She was going to paint the walls. No. So she dropped me at the train station, went to the DIY shop, bought the paint, put it in the boot, opened the boot when she got back home, and 5 litres of paint dropped out of the car. And I say the boot, that would be, what do they call it? The trunk for those American listeners.
The trunk.
It was in the trunk. And 5 litres of white emulsion all over the road. So she messages me, and I'm in London, and obviously I'm not that interested. I'm drinking beer. I don't want to have to come up with solutions to this problem. So she starts trying to clean it up with various sort of sheets and things like that. And then she gets a bit fed up and just thinks, fuck this, I'm going to leave it. Next thing, the neighbour's knocking on the door saying, oh, you can't leave that like that. Have you had an accident? I think it was just like, oh, have you had an accident with some paint? And, no, I've done it deliberately. Oh, you can't leave that like that. She's like, well, I've tried doing this. Oh, right. Well, what if it rains? It's going to spread down the street. I was like, well, I can get the hose out and try and hose it away. Oh, no, you can't hose it because that'll go down the street and then cars will run through it and spread it all over. And I was like, well, it's not bothering anyone. My car's parked in front of it. Nobody can get near it. And then the neighbour just kept going on and on. And then she kept messaging her later on the day saying, have you thought about putting sand on it? Helen says, I haven't got any sand. Well, the shop's open until 4 o'clock.
Oh.
You can go get some sand. And Helen had no interest in getting sand. So eventually she just stopped listening to the one. So we've still got a massive patch of white paint all over our front road.
Is it dried?
It's dry as anything now, but I'm hoping some rain will come along and just wash it away.
That's how it works. I'm not sure.
I don't know. We phoned the council and said, do you want to come out and have a look? And they said they might do. But Helen was furious, absolutely furious, and made worse by the nosy neighbours who've all been sticking. I think they've all been chatting to each other in like text groups. We don't get involved in any of that. I think all of the other neighbours around here like each other. We're a bit like the outsiders, probably because I'm barbecuing and smoking at all hours.
Well, we have discussed this. You have annoyed them, yeah.
So she was like, oh, such and such across the road said you could try this, and such down the street said maybe do this. And Helen's like, are they all just having a big chat about my paint spillage? It seems so.
Talk of the town, Baz, aren't you?
Aye. That was the drama. That was the drama in my life this week. Thankfully, I was
there's two reasons I don't do anything like that, Baz. Any of this house. A, I'm absolutely born idle. But B, if you start one job, it always begets a load of other jobs. One job's never just one job because something will get broken or then something doesn't match what you've just done. Or, well, now we've done that, we'll have to get something to go with that. One job begets like 8 jobs, Baz. It's a trick. It's a scam.
Helen painted the doors a couple of weeks ago.
And now your whole house will be fucked as a result.
Because she painted the doors, she wanted to paint the walls, which is where the big 5 litres of emulsion came from. The walls haven't been painted. That's been abandoned for now. As have
painted the street trainers, instead.
As of our Converse trainers, which are still dripping in paint at the moment. But yeah.
Well, excellent lifestyle chat, Baz. We appreciate that. I've got 22 hours to come up with something between now and tomorrow. I'll try and think of something. Thank you, Barry. That was fun. Thank you, everyone who was in the chat. We do appreciate it. As Bad said, go and like and subscribe and all that. Enter the FPL League as well. CVVQAB. Go and enter that. Join us tomorrow night for the pick show. Shit, it's exciting. If you're betting anything tonight, good luck with it. But come back tomorrow. Until then, we'll see you down the road. Cheers.